All right, all right. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. All right, this part is ready. That's good. Let me get into the share the knowledge screen. There we go. That's working as well. That's better. I wanted to try something real quick. While everyone tunes in, let me check this real quick. And I see a couple people in here already on YouTube. We got David Deluxe in the building from Cali. Salute to you. And DJ Shabdul. Hey, yo. What's going on? Let me just see if I can add this window. Just in case I want to show something later. That is window capture. Decker, what up, man? I see you. Let me see. That is a window, but that's not the window I'm looking for. I want this window. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. And just that little part right here. See if I can make this work. Give me 1 sec, guys. Not even sure if I'm going to use this, but just wanted to add it in real quick. Just something I saw during the week. Might want to ask your opinion about this a little bit later. Yeah, we only need that little part right there. The only thing is, if I'm going to show it, we might need audio as well. DJ Favor, salute to you. And all right, before we get into that, welcome to the Share the Knowledge live stream podcast. Whatever you want to call it, your place for DJ related questions. You can ask me any questions. I might ask you some questions. It's all about sharing that knowledge. Let me check real quick if I want to add the audio of this one. Where did I just put it? Can we do that? We don't need to capture the cursor. Cool. I'm not even sure if I can add that because it's the computer audio, so I might have to leave that. Whatever. If I can't get it on screen, I can talk about it in a second. Just gonna see if I can't actually just take that. That is this one. How's everyone doing, by the way? Happy Wednesday to y'all. How's everyone doing? From all over the globe tuning in. All right, let me see.
And then cashes out straight to their bank account.
Okay, there we go.
We have solved the biggest problem for DJs.
That's working.
Song requests. The DJ sets the minimum price per song.
We'll do that in a second. I want to ask your opinion in a second. I'm going to turn that off for now. We'll get to that a little later. Shabdul wants to know, what do you think about the Caribbean DJs like Puffy? Shout out to my guy Puffy. I'm a Jamaican myself. And if I'm not mistaken, Puffy is from Barbados. And the thing is, I'm not that well versed into the Caribbean when it comes to the Caribbean sound. I just know I like the energy. Shout out to DJ Outcast as well from St. Martin. I see how they play, and it's a totally different energy, different vibe compared to just playing the hip hop and R&B parties. Is it my thing? I don't think so. And I'm not even talking music wise, it's the way the level of hype. I don't think I have that in me, but I love to see it. So yeah. And when it comes to DJs like Puffy, when they have the musical knowledge, because Puffy can play all sorts of genres, and you combine that with the actual skill, then you have a dope combo right there. DJ Raider 1, Aruba in the building. So a lot of Caribbean going on right now. So yeah, that's what I think about Puffy. I think he's a very dope DJ. Just when I look at a lot of the clips, I hear like a ton of songs I've never heard before because I'm just not totally into the scene. Dancehall okay, but especially when it comes to when they get into the soca vibe, I mean it's mad, but it's something I'm not used to. Didn't grow up with it, and I don't know a lot about it. In Jamaica, we have some tall ass sound systems. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And yeah, I still have to visit Jamaica one day for sure. DJ Jers Mike, salute. Let me see for a sec if this is working now. Yeah, it is. Are all the channels on? All right, LinkedIn is on. Salute LinkedIn. Mixcloud is on. Facebook is on. YouTube, of course. Twitter, Twitch, and even Kick. Okay, that's working. And yeah, favor. That's what I said. Like when it comes to Puffy, you can tell he knows his music and a lot of different genres as well, which is pretty dope. Decker, no, we are not working on the theater tour volume 2 right now. Well, that's not totally correct. We know exactly what we want to do for the next theater tour. The thing is, if we want to do a theater tour again this year, that's not going to happen because then we would have had to have plugged that last year to get booked for the coming year. If we want to go the next season, we need to have our thing ready by September because by that time you have to already present it to the bookers. So I'm not sure about that. I think we might probably just put an extra year in between because even though the theater tour is super dope, it does take up a lot of time. And we both have a lot of different projects we need to be working on separately and also projects together. But when we hit that theater again, I believe the next one is going to be doper than what we had this time. JB 1200, salute. Vinyl Touch in the building. Yes, sir. So yeah, there's something I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna get into that in a second. I had to miss Sunday sessions live stream. I'll be back on Sunday. I was moving furniture and stuff all day long, helping out fam. And it's hot over here right now. And it was very hot that day as well, but it needed to happen. But I did drop something extra for y'all on Mixcloud. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you check out mixcloud.com/DJ TLM. I had a gig on Saturday in a club called Mers in Dordrecht here in the Netherlands. I was booked to play a 1-hour set during Future Throwback. And I decided to hit record in Serato to record that freestyle set. So I've uploaded that 1-hour freestyle live set, Throwback Bangers, on my Mixcloud. So you didn't get a new show, a new live sessions, but you did get a new live set from me. So check out my Mixcloud for that one. And I'll be back, like I said, on Sunday. I'm not moving this Sunday, not moving anyone's furniture. The only thing I'll be moving is those platters. And I have the Rev 7 back. So I'm very excited to have what I call my baby back here. It's not mine, but I'm claiming it. And Pioneer is actually fine with that. So that's finally back. Even bought a case for it, the Magma Bags case for the Rev 7. So that was a treat for that gig on Saturday. As you should, I contacted them in advance to make sure to check out what kind of equipment they were using at the club to decide what I was going to do. A lot of times they'll have CDJs, but in this case, they weren't working with a CDJ. They were actually working with, I'm not sure if it was the 2 or the 3. I think it was the 3, an RX3. So I had a decision to make. Am I just going to bring a flash drive and play on that? Or am I bringing the Rev 7? So I brought the Rev 7. And before this, that would have been a little bit uncomfortable because I just had it in like a normal box. You don't want to walk into the club with a box and you have to take it out with all the styrofoam in there. Now I had it in the Magma bag. You can just walk into the club, open that bad boy up, bang, ready to go. Had a lot of fun with that. Hadn't used it in months and just opened that thing up, connected it, and went to it in the club straight away. And that took me like 2 seconds to get that feeling back. Love that device. Favor, yes, sir, indeed. That is, I'm glad I could add that one. I'm going to try to do that as often as I can. If I'm doing a set anywhere and I'm playing with Serato, I mean, it's just the click of a button. Hit record. The only thing that was missing is you don't hear the MC. There was an MC there doing a great job, but his microphone was connected to the RX. So that's the only thing that's missing. And I think next time I'll do that, even when I'm recording my set with Serato, I'm just going to take my phone and just hit record on the voice recorder just to get some of that live ambiance, because that's missing as well. Because with a lot of the bangers that I'm throwing in, that crowd is giving me those oohs and ahs, and you don't hear those in the recording. So the dopest thing would be to have that as a separate recording, just to add a little layer of that crowd noise. So just a tip for anyone, if you're recording or when you're recording your live sets, maybe you have an external recorder connected to your mixer, to the output of your controller, or you're recording internally inside your DJ software. That is cool to get the good quality recording of your set. Next to that, if you can record the crowd as well, just the audio, that is a great thing to add. So if I would have done that with my phone, just start that voice recorder and just add that, even if it's just for those couple of moments, to have that in there. So I would add that layer inside just some audio editing software, that layer from the phone, and just EQ it, take all of the bass out because we don't need that, no low end, and maybe even add a little bit of the mids just to get that crowd noise, and leave it super low, like almost inaudible that you can't hear it. And just at that point when I throw songs in, just make a little envelope, add a little bit of volume there. Whenever there's a point where the crowd was actually making noise, it'll make your live recorded set sound more live. So I wish I would have done that, and it would have been cool to have the MC in there as well. All right, so it's not going to be that busy of a stream today. I think I didn't stream last Wednesday. I didn't announce this one, even though I'm doing it every Wednesday now, but I've only started a couple of weeks ago. People need to get used to that again. And Jers Mike, let me see. Have I talked about that yet? A little bit. Actually, let's do that first. So Jers Mike has a question. Don't know if the question was asked already. Your personal and professional take on stems. I'm a big fan of tech, and I love the technological developments. And when Mixmaster G, salute. When Algorithm introduced their neural mix feature with stems a couple of years ago, I was like, hey, this is dope. The only caveat is that sonically, it wasn't that great yet. I mean, when you, for instance, just make an acapella by getting rid of all of the music, some sound really good. A lot of them sound okay. And then there's also a lot of them that don't sound that good. That is because you are manipulating that audio and using frequencies. So a lot of times you'll take some of that, some of the frequencies out that shouldn't be taken out of a vocal. But overall, for a live set, I love having that option of being able to just take the vocal out or take some drums out to make certain transitions a little bit cleaner. So I do believe that the quality will improve and needs to improve, but the Serato one sounds pretty damn good. Rekordbox needs to work on theirs. I've not tested a Virtual DJ's version, And I mean, there's a ton of software out there that can do the same thing, but these DJ software versions do it real time, which is just a super dope thing. A couple of weeks ago, I was DJing at a dance battle, and for instance, there with certain tracks, I don't have an instrumental, and sometimes I want to have an instrumental, and I could just take the audio out, take the vocal out. Sorry, I love it. But you do have to test in advance to see how it sounds, because with certain tracks, it just sounds horrible. But I'm a big fan. I do believe you should use it in certain occasions and not all the time. It's also great for when you want to censor something, just when you know that that cuss word is there, you can just take the vocal out for that one word. That is a perfect option for it as well. So I like it. I like it. And Vinyl Touch says Stems is really just AI supported EQ. And that's why I said, like, you can notice sometimes that it will take certain frequencies out to get rid of, for instance, the music. But then it will also take a couple of the frequencies out of the vocal, because it's not a perfect, when you have a song, it's not like this frequency is just the vocal, this frequency is just the drums. They do overlap, and certain frequencies are used by all of the instruments, some of the instruments. So it's hard to get everything as clean as possible, but it's working pretty well. And I mean, this is now. Imagine how that is going to sound a year from now. And Mixmaster G in lurker mode, all good, all good. So yeah, I'm a fan. And I love using it on the fly during my transitions. Sometimes you might have two tracks that have a lot going on, have heavy drums in both of them. Now you could do that by make it sound cleaner by using the EQ, of course. What I normally would do, take the low end out of one, because you don't want to have the full low end in on both tracks. But now sometimes when I make a transition, I might actually just take the whole drums out of the one track that was already playing and bring the new drums in. So it does offer you new options when it comes to making your transitions. So let's say you play 3 times in a week and you're playing 3 parties that are basically the same theme. So you're playing the same type of music. It would be dope if I'm playing today and I make a transition between 2 tracks and I like it. At the next party, I might want to do a mix with those same 2 tracks. But now, instead of using EQ, I do something with stems to make the transition sound totally different than the transition the day before. So I like having the option a lot. All right. There's something I wanted to just drop by or drop in this live stream to get your opinion on this. So I'm going to bring this screen back. You may have already seen this. I just ran into this when it was posted this time. But I believe it's also going around as an ad. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Bring it in. And let me know what y'all think about this one. All right, we missed the beginning. I want to have the full thing. So I have to wait for it to go around for a sec. Where did I put the audio? Where's that audio? Audio. Oh, it's already on. Sorry.
The DJ sets the minimum.
I think I need to turn that up a bit. You know what?
Denies the request and then cashes out straight to their bank account. We have solved the biggest problem for DJs. Song requests. The DJ sets the minimum price per song. Partygoers scan the QR code and send in their favorite song. The DJ accepts or denies the request and then cashes out straight to their bank account. We have solved the biggest problem for DJs.
I don't think that's the whole ad. It's playing just part of it. I think it lasts longer. But okay, just the gist of it. It's so this company made an app, and what it does is that people can download the app, and then when they're at the party, they can use the app to send the DJ song requests. The DJ will receive those requests and he can accept or deny, and they have to add like a payment to it, and they can pay through different ways. So that's what it basically does. Now, I have my opinion when it comes to that, but how do you guys feel about an app for song requests? Would you use something like that? Would that be something you see yourself using? And by the way, no judgment on my part. I'll give you my opinion, and my opinion is only about how I feel about it and if I would use it. But I want to know how you feel about it. And Shabdul, I see your question about collecting payment, so I'll get to that in a second. Decker says, sounds good. Drunk people will be mad if their song is denied. Vinyl Touch says, at least a virtual DJ had this feature. The problem is it will be abused. Everybody will think you're their jukebox. Decker says, I think the DJ should always be in control. And Vinyl Touch says, I've personally used something similar in a wedding. It was a nightmare, especially with drunk people who think their song needs to play. Planko, what's good? Hi, and it's good for generic clubs at holiday resorts and locations, not usable at parties where you invite specific DJs/producers to play. All right. So my take, and I actually dropped that as a comment in the app. My first comment was, yeah, that's not why I became a DJ. And they actually responded, the 128 app, and they had a question for me, and that was, how do you deal with requests? So my answer was pretty simple. If I have like one or two or just a couple of people come up to me with a song request, I'll kindly listen to them and let them know, like, I might play that. I'm going to play that. I'm not playing that. One of those options. But as soon as it's more than a couple of people, then I'm shutting it down. Because I don't want to be distracted throughout my set by people constantly coming up to me asking for my attention. My attention needs to be focused on the crowd. And I've talked about this a lot when it comes to requests. And we talked about this, I think, during the last stream as well. A lot of times people are only thinking about themselves when they come to ask you to play a song. And a lot of times their requests don't match what's actually going on at the party. I've had this happen a ton of times where people will request a song that will totally change the vibe. And the vibe that I currently have going is working because I have 90 to 95% of the people on the dance floor having a great time. So I don't want to switch that vibe because one person wants to hear a totally different song. That doesn't really make sense to me. So for that reason alone, requests most of the times are not that great. Or people are going to ask for a song that you were most likely going to play anyway. So they're going to ask for one of the obvious hits that fit the genre that you're playing. I'm probably already playing that, so I don't really need people to ask me for that song either. But normally that's how I deal with requests. One or two, okay, I'll listen to it. Beyond that, we need to shut it down before everyone comes in. The same thing for me applies when it comes to that app. Because you could say like, hey, if you have the app, then people are not coming up to you. And you can just, like, even the people from the app said, hey, with the app, you can just deny requests. But imagine if they promote that at a party you're playing and your phone is constantly giving you notifications and you have to check the notifications. That's going to take away from me doing my thing. So for me, I don't see that as an option that I would want to use during a club set or a festival set, you name it. The only place where it could be something that could be fun, if, for instance, you're playing at a very specific themed type wedding or something that would be promoted as like a request party, request line, whatever. Let's say that's the name. And that's the whole theme of the party. And I choose to offer myself to play that gig. I don't see myself doing that. But in a situation like that, that's the only place I could see it make some sense. But in that case, if you're actually making this like, hey, it's a request line thing, I also feel that you should accept all requests. It shouldn't be deny or accept. But during any type of normal set, I don't know. And I see something else here that I think that could definitely happen. Like Decker said it, and actually Vinyl Touch also said that this was a nightmare. You're going to have a lot of people at a party when they see that this is an option and they can offer you money and request a song, they're going to feel entitled that you should be playing their song. You could probably offend people who will probably then come to the booth mad at you for denying their request. So what, my money's not good? Why are you not playing my song? Just imagine if you're using an app and you see just a ton of shitty requests that you deny. And then all of those people, one by one, come up to your booth, not to request a song, but basically to ask you to explain why you're not playing their song. I mean, that sounds like an absolute nightmare to me as well. And that's what Vinyl Touch said as well, like drunk people who think their song needs to play. So, and Planko, so I kind of understand what you're saying when it comes to like generic clubs at holiday resorts, but even then, if I were to play at a party where they're expecting you to play just the most generic hits, I would still prefer just to play that instead of having to constantly look at my phone to see what it is that's requested. So for me, yeah. And Favor, indeed, this does not solve requests. It makes it worse. I think that could definitely be the case. So yeah. And I mean, I've talked before how I feel about getting paid to play songs. That really turns you into a jukebox, which is something I'm not a fan of. I personally wouldn't feel that comfortable because you are giving people the idea that you can be bought. That's something I'm just not a fan of. And where do you draw the line when it comes to the price as well, you know? But now, I don't know. George Mike says, I think it would only benefit DJs that get tired of people asking to request songs. If the song is banging, the DJ has it 9 out of 10 times, it will get played. So, but that's the thing, like with what was just said before by Favor. I don't think it's going to solve the problem of people requesting songs. The only difference is now they're not coming up to the booth. They're doing it through an app. But my guess is that when you deny that they're going to come up to the booth anyway to ask you why you denied. So yeah, for me, it's not something I see myself ever using. Unless, like I said, it would be a party where the whole theme of the party is you can request anything. Like I've been thinking about maybe once in a while doing a live stream, a live mix where I just do like a request hour. And it's just like, hey, people tune in. Let me know what you want to hear. Now, of course, I will have a certain boundary that I'll say it has to be within certain genres. But that will be a themed thing. And even then, I'm not using an app where people have to pay me. Or it would be just like maybe with a stream, you could actually do that. You make a request hour and you say like, hey, every request is, I don't know, a certain amount of bits. You could do that. But it have to be a specific theme. But during any normal gig, I would not want to have something like this. Teddy Stream, salute, I see you. And Favor says, requests make me upset. Yep. I hear you. Like I said, if it's one or two, I can deal with it, but I'm not a fan of it. Cootie83, salute. And Teddy Stream, all is well over here indeed. So I hope all is well over there as well. Vinyl Touch says it constantly comes in and everyone thinks their request should be heard. It's useful, but you have to set boundaries via verbal announcements. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. I like, even in the promo, let me just open that screen up again. We don't need the audio, but just that screen. Like, yeah, of course, that little picture there with the girl asking for stuff, it's annoying. We know that. But then just imagine this part right here. You're behind the decks, and now you constantly have to grab your phone to see what they requested. That takes me out of the vibe. I'm supposed to be reading the crowd, not my phone. And again, a lot of those requests are songs you were going to play anyway, or songs that don't fit the vibe at all. Yeah. Okay. DJ LA, salute. All good. And Larry K, I see you, and I see your question, and I cannot answer that. So the question is, please, what is the idea songs for opening? So Larry, first off, that question in this form is just way too broad because we don't know what genre we're talking about. So no one can give you a song right now because we don't know what type of party we're talking about. And even if you would say a genre, that still doesn't mean that there's a certain song that works for an opening. And when you say opening, do you mean that you're the warm-up DJ? Or when you say opening, do you mean the first track of your set? Because just besides the whole genre and theme thing, what is your function that night? Are you the warm-up DJ? Are you playing prime time? So your time slot also matters when it comes to what you're going to play and what you might start with. And Decker says at the end, you're not a DJ anymore. You're just playing songs for them. Yep. Maybe they will ditch the DJ and let everyone pay for the song. Yeah. I mean, you could basically just do that. If you're going to use an app like that, you could just have a music setup there and have that app or integrate that app into music software and just let people pay for a request and then their song will play. That basically takes it back to, and I don't know what it was called in different countries, but here in the Netherlands, we had a certain point, we had one music station on TV and you could just call in to a number and then you would have to add a code to play a certain song. The box did that here. So basically, you could request songs over the phone, and you were paying for that call. I don't know what the cost was, but you were paying for it. So you could just have a party where you have a computer playing the music and people requesting. I wonder how well that party is going to go. If you have an event with 300 people in there and they're requesting songs. Hey, there's going to be a bunch of songs in there that probably everyone will like. There's going to be a lot of songs in there that probably only a small portion of that crowd likes. Because once again, a lot of people request songs they want to hear, not songs that will work best for the party. Yeah. Just a second. Did I forget to answer Shabdul's question? Yes, I did. See? I'm still a little bit sharp. Shabdul asked a question. I want to get to that before we continue with this whole request thing. The question was, should DJs collect their payment before playing for an event? I don't think there's one answer for this. I just know there are a lot of different ways that people go about this. So I can't answer because it's going to be different in different cities, countries, genres. But there are a lot of different options for this. So when I just started out and I didn't even have like my own tax number or anything yet, I would get paid cash and I would get my money after I DJ'd. Now, at a certain point, this will go wrong one time and something happened during the event and people don't have your money, which makes you realize that, hey, if I ever have to do a gig where I'm supposed to be paid cash, I'm going to make sure that I receive my payment before playing. It doesn't happen to me very often. Like most of my gigs are all just with invoices and paid by bank. But in the one or two situations that it did occur in the last couple of years, I just let them know like, hey, when I arrive, we take care of the payment. If anything shady is happening there and they don't have your money, you don't do your set. Now, luckily that hasn't happened to me, but that is, for me, it is a rule when I'm getting paid cash. Now, I will have to add, if you have an ongoing relationship with this venue or the promoter and there's a trust that you have, then probably it doesn't matter. You can get your payment after the gig. Like if you work with someone you know and trust, that's a different story. But especially when you just start to work with one or you're playing for someone the first time and they're going to pay you cash, it would be a good idea to do that before you play. You already came there, so you have all the intent is there to come play. You just want to make sure that they're taking care of their part of the business. Now, there's also DJs out there that work just with invoices and bank payments, but who do request either partial payment before or full payment before. Most of the times they are working with contracts, so even the person who's paying in advance will also know that they have something to hold on to. For instance, I played when was that? A couple of months? No, last year I played a gig out of the country, and I wanted to make sure that the payment was in advance. I had never played for this organization before. I had to go to a different country to come play, so we just signed a contract, and then they sent me the money. If I don't show, they have a contract and they can still hold me accountable. But for me, that made me feel more comfortable traveling all the way there. Because again, through a bad situation, I learned that this isn't always the case. Because this is years ago. I played a gig also in a different country. And the ticket came in, so the flight was paid for, made my way over there, played the event. The hotel was booked for me, but there was a problem with the money, all sorts of stories. I didn't have time to hang around because I had to get my flight back, and I never got paid for that one. We didn't have a contract, my mistake, so I learned from that. But some DJs will want all their payment in advance. Some will don't even have to worry about that because they're working with a booking agency. Some booking agencies, I don't know if all do it, but some booking agencies do want to have the payment in advance before they even send the DJ to the gig. So it's different all over. So I hope that helps a little bit with your question. I want to get back to Larry K as well, because he had the question about the idea for an opening song. Let me see if he elaborated on that. All right. So like the warming up before the night, should it be like some certain BPM? So I don't think BPM is not the thing you should be focusing on. It's all about the vibe. It's going to be a little bit different for different genres. I'm no expert when it comes to any of the house or house-related, dance-related genres. That's not my cup of tea. I don't know a lot about it. But when it comes to, for instance, the hip-hop and R&B that I mostly play, if I'm the opener, so I'm playing the warm-up set, my goal is just to create an ambiance. It's not to be the hype DJ because, first off, when people are just coming in, you don't have a crowd yet. And even when the people are in, they have to, most of the times, get into the vibe. They might get a couple of drinks, wait till the club is a little more packed before they actually want to let it go, get all their energy out. So I'm playing songs that have a nice, more mellow vibe. Now, I'm not playing slow jams or anything like that, but you want to start with just a nice, more mellow vibe. And as the crowd builds up, you can slowly add a little more energy to that. So that's not always BPM related because you have songs that have a higher tempo but still have a more chill sound. But most of the times the BPM won't be too high. But again, I can't speak for a lot of the genres out there. At the end of the day, you're not a DJ anymore. You just play songs for them. Yeah, we already had that one. All right, Decker says, just use the app and make song requests 500 euros per song. That could be an idea. Probably you won't have a lot of people requesting. I just wonder, though, if you do have some people in there who do offer that, they're willing to pay you 500, but they request the shittiest song that you don't want to play and you deny. I'm pretty sure you're going to hurt some feelings and get some mad people there that are like, wow, I'm offering 500 and you still deny me. Because if people have that amount of money to give for you to play a song, those are very entitled people who are used to getting their way. So if they hear no, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be happy with it. There could also be a reverse effect. If people are already paying to enter the party, they would now feel some kind of way to now donate funds to request music. That would definitely be a problem for me. Yeah, could be. Yeah. And that just sounds like asking for a heading unless it's a request party. Not hating on their app. Kudos to them. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not. I didn't tell them like, "Hey, your app sucks" or whatever. I just said that's not why I became a DJ. I could never see myself like being at a party and just looking at my phone. Okay, what do they want to hear next? That's not what I want to do when I DJ. Vess, salute. You haven't seen me in a minute. You haven't been here for the streams, bro. I've been back every Sunday except last Sunday for 12 weeks now. So this upcoming Sunday is Sunday Sessions number 13. And Share the Knowledge podcast has been back for like a month or so. So, yeah, I've been gone, but I am back. Let's see. King Complex says song request parties will be trash and too up and down in energy. 100%. A playlist with no soul. Yeah, but that's what I said. Like, just imagine if you have a computer that just plays the requests from people that they request through an app like that. There's going to be a portion of songs that will work for most of the crowd, but a lot of times it's going to be this. Yeah, that would not work. And King Complex says it will break your, kill your brand as a DJ. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, if that is something you are now like showing, like, hey man, I'm a DJ, I play, and you can pay me to play what you want to hear. So for some, and I'm not knocking DJs who want to do this, I can just not see myself doing this. This would take me totally out of my vibe and element if I'm constantly looking at my phone and constantly have to deny people. And I don't know if I would feel comfortable even if they request songs that I want to play. And I've talked about this before when people offer you money. I don't feel comfortable taking money when people request stuff because to me, it just gives them the idea that I can be bought. I don't like that feeling. I don't feel comfortable with that. But that's me. And King Complex, that's you. Indeed. Let's see. RC3 was good. Good to see you. And I think I saw a clip of you the other day. And you've grown, man. Like a lot. If I think I saw a clip with your name under it. I was like, wait a minute. Is that the same? But yeah, it's been a couple of years since the other video. So I think you grew a lot, but that happens to y'all, man. I see it with my kids as well. You guys grow up. Is it advisable to use audio convert for your songs before loading it to your DJ software? All right, let me read this question again and see if I understand. Salty, salute, I see you. RC3, since COVID, I stretched. Well, you damn sure look like it, man. Grew a lot. All right, wait a minute. Let me read this Larry K question one more time. Is it advisable to use audio convert for your songs before loading it? Audio convert, what are you converting to? I'm not sure I understand the question, so I want to make sure I understand. What are you doing with your audio? What does audio convert mean in this case? How? What are you converting from what to what? Ah, okay. You did the DMC. Nice. Is that the online DMC or is it an in-person event? Are they still doing the online thing? I haven't seen DMC in a second, I have to admit. So Larry, let me know exactly what you mean with the audio convert question, because I'm interested to know what that exactly what it means. Hey, RC3, congratulations. It was a live event. I got first place. And that's this year. Does that mean that you now move on to the next battle? And it's the next battle. So the first one, if I'm not mistaken, is it like city, state, country? I'm not sure when it comes to the U.S. Yes, now you got to go to NYC. Nice. Congrats, man. Is that available online? Can I see that battle online? I'm gonna just check on YouTube anyway if you don't answer here, but I'm gonna find it. All right, state, country, then London. Nice. Larry K, like to make all your songs the same volume level. I mean, I wouldn't think that is necessary. So is it advisable? I don't know. I've never done that. Now, if you have certain songs that you know are just way too quiet, then maybe it would help so you don't have to do too much during your gig, that you have to adjust the volume too much. Maybe for certain songs it would help if you can boost them a little bit, just in some editing software, just boost the volume so that it's a bit more up to the level of other songs. But beyond that, I mean, that's what you have your gain and your EQ on your mixer for. Not all songs are exactly the same volume, and even if they have the same volume, that doesn't always mean they have the same loudness. But that's a different story. But to me, that's why the ear is so important, because even when you look at your meters on your mixer, they can both be at that same exact level, but you can still hear a difference. That's why you always gotta trust your ears a little bit as well. I watch my levels to make sure I don't go over a certain level, don't want to clip, but I'm making sure I listen as well. So favor, yeah, normalize the list. I mean, you could take all of your songs, put them in some audio software and like normalize them. You could do that. Does that make them all sound the same volume wise? No, not really, but it could help. I don't think it's really necessary. Like I said, unless you have certain songs that are just way too quiet, that don't have enough volume. It could help to just boost certain songs so that they can hang with the rest of your collection. But hey, I mean, to each his own. You have people out there that will take each and every individual song they have, load it up into whatever audio software they use, and try to tweak every song, volume-wise, EQ-wise, put extra mastering plugins on them, which doesn't always make sense because most of those songs are already mastered. But hey, if people have time, they can do that. I personally would never have time for that, and I don't think there is any type of like batch type of action that I could do in audio software to make all my songs sound quote unquote better. So I wouldn't do that. Okay, got you, RC3. Not recorded, but you have it. Cool. So when it's uploaded, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, favor, same here. That's way too much work. I like I said, I don't have the time for that. By the way, guys, I'm gonna keep this one a little bit shorter. Today's Q&A, for the simple fact that I need some sleep. And on top of that, on a personal note as well, let me see if that works with time. Yeah, there's some family stuff as well. Hey, I need to send a quick message here. Let me do that right now. Man, when you have kids, man, the extra responsibilities. Let me just make sure I check that. Yeah, I think I probably have to be out in a couple minutes. Where is the best place to get a DJ website and logo? Mm. I mean, I would go for Fiverr, especially for the logos. Oh, here we go. Vest, same thing. Fiverr to get a logo. Um, and websites. I mean, I do believe on Fiverr there's also an entire section of people who can make websites. Um, uh, excuse me, 1 second. This has to be taken care of. Okay. So Fiverr.com is a website for those who don't know. It's basically a marketplace for any type of job. You have people on there from all over the globe who offer their services. And this can be anything from fill out my taxes to create a logo, make an animation, you name it. And I do a ton of my logo stuff over there because you can find people who can do a great job for very affordable prices. Now, there's also like pros on there who charge a lot more. But you can get a good bang for your buck if you look around. So a lot of my logos, some of my newer radio jingles, stuff like that, I do all of that on Fiverr. My crates, radio logo, Fiverr, Sunday sessions, Fiverr. Even DJ TLM TV, I made the original design, but I revamped it. And then on Fiverr, I found someone who could make that just a little bit tighter for me, Fiverr. So that is a great option for that. RC3, talk to you next time. And good luck with the next round. So Fiverr is a dope place for that. And I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people on there who can make your website, but that all depends on how you want to do it. So if you want to have your own website and you want to be in like full control and make everything, there's a ton of options. I mean, you can use something like WordPress, but you will have to constantly keep that up to date yourself. I use WordPress, and you can find people who can make that for you. I do it myself, but you can find people who can make a nice WordPress site for you. But then you're still going to have to make sure you know how everything works, because if anything needs to be updated or added, you'll have to do that yourself, or you constantly have to pay someone to do that. Next thing I wanted to mention, Vess is naming them as well. You have online services where you have basically an online website builder like Squarespace or Wix, and they give you an all-in-one package. So you don't have to worry about anything. You can just go, you get an account, and you can just drag and drop how you want the site to look, but they take care of the rest. So you don't have to worry about updating or certain plugins in there. That's all handled, but you are paying a monthly fee for that, and that can cost you quite a bit. So I don't know their current prices, but that's the thing you have to look at. Like with WordPress, you are paying for your hosting, and then you can make your site, but then you don't have a lot of different costs beyond that, but you have to do all the work. And with Squarespace or Wix, you don't have to do any of the background work, but you're paying for that. And DJ Cruiser says, for normalizing audio files in a batch, I use a program called Switch Audio Converter. Okay. I'm just not sure if I want to normalize all my audio. I don't always like what normalize does to the audio. But that is a good tip for someone who wants to try to do that. And Vinyl Touch, you asked the question, is that what auto gain does in Serato analysis? I don't know if auto gain does anything during the analysis, actually. I do know that when you have auto gain on, it what I call messes with your audio. I remember I had it on in the beginning and I hated using it, because especially when I was using like doubles and I was working, like I could hear my audio being like dropped down. I could hear the volume change without me doing it. And I think that was auto gain doing stuff. So I never have that on again, and I'm not fully sure what it does. I just know I like to be in full control of my audio. I don't like it when software can interfere, and I hate it when I'm just doing my thing and I can hear a change that was not made by me, because that means that someone else is in control. In this case, the software. I just don't like that. So D-Town 214 Tech. What's a good place to get a DJ drop for your DJ name? We were just talking about this site, so we go back to it. Fiverr. Fiverr.com. Read it in the chat right there. Fiverr. Like my radio jingles / drops, I get them done there. You do have to look and find a good one. I've ordered some drops that are just okay, or that I did need to just edit a little bit to make them better, but I didn't pay a lot of money for them. And then I found like one or two people who do a great job, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll work with them again. Same with the logos. I've done a couple of logos, and I was not like totally happy with the end result, and I didn't want to have like a ton of revisions because I could just tell like this person is not doing it the same way I want to do it. So I'll find someone else, and then you find some people who do a great job. But it's a great place. Fiverr.com. DJ Moss wants to know, is that a custom-made PC in the background? Yes, it is. Yes. That is my studio computer. And I built this computer right here in the back. Yes. That is my baby. Still working well. I mean, I built this a couple of years ago, right before we went into this crazy, not just the pandemic, but especially during that time when there was a shortage when it came to the chips and the GPU prices, and just all parts went up in price like crazy. This was just before that. And yes, it is Ryzen power indeed. Yeah, still love this system. I mean, it's still up to date. I did do, I added one thing in the last couple of months, and that was something that I was still waiting to do. When I initially built it, I only added 2 sticks of RAM, and I wanted to get an identical kit to that to fill the other 2 slots. But that's when we had the price increase, and all of a sudden, the same RAM that I'd already bought was now, I think it was ridiculous. It was like, I think 60 or 70 euros more. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. And only recently, the price went all the way back down. So I saw the price, was like, oh, wait a minute, this is the same price I paid or less. Got that second kit. So now I have 4 sticks in there. So now I have 64 gigs of RAM right now. Built it 2 years ago, but it still holds up well. It's not like it has to be an incredible monster, but it does the job well. It's been a while, but it's the Ryzen 9 3900, if I'm not mistaken. So now it has 64 gigs of RAM. That's DDR4, but it is the faster RAM. It's CL16, and I think it's the 3600 speed. Not 100% sure. RTX 2060 Super is the GPU, which is still fine for what I do. I don't game. Basically, all it has to do is give me my power for streaming and for rendering files in Premiere. And what else is in there? Yeah, it has a couple of NVMe drives in there and a couple of SSD drives in there. And yes, gets the job done still. Might do the upgrade to a newer GPU at a certain point, but for now, I'm good. Let's see. You can also pay DJ Puffy, Red Bull 3-style champ. DJ Puffy has the new thing. He will do one for you. Okay, that's DJ drops. Okay, got you. But you don't know the cost. Yeah. Yeah, cruise indeed. Like only when the file is low. So if the volume is low, then that's something that can really help. But with the rest of my music, I don't want to mess it up by normalizing it when it's not necessary. I just want to leave it as it is. All right, Vinyl Touch, controversial question. So a couple more, then we got to cut this stream off. Controversial question. In 2023, if you had to buy a turntable for DJing for the foreseeable future, which would you buy and why? How is that controversial? So I don't see the controversy in that one. And which one would I buy for the foreseeable future? So DJing for the foreseeable future, there's a ton of turntables out there that can get the job done well. So I still have Technics SL1200s Mark II. The newer Technics look great, but they are incredibly pricey. I have some Denon VL12s. I have some Vestax PDX 3000. But if I look at my turntables, I would say I would go with my RP 8000 Mark IIs by Reloop. The main reason being is they have a ton of extra options. Even though I hardly use them now during my streams, the fact that you have all of the extra MIDI capabilities on that device gives you options, especially looking at the future. And I haven't done this yet, but maybe in the future I might want to, as more features are available, you might want to have more buttons available to trigger certain things. So for instance, right now I do everything on the mixer, or if I'm using the Rev 7 on the mixer section, and I have MIDI mapped stems. I use the saved loop part on the performance pads because I don't use saved loops, and I use that to trigger the stems. You have to go to a separate button for instance, the samples. So if I want to have my drops there, maybe I want to have all of those accessible at the same time. I have an entire row of basically Cue Point performance pads on that RP 8000. Maybe I'll choose those to do either my DJ drops or something else. So they offer a lot of different options with that. Now, beyond that, if we're just looking turntable-wise, man, I'm happy with all of them. I like the VL12s for touring because of their layout. They have all the ins and outs on what I call the back if you're in battle position. So for me, that's perfect. So I have them sideways in battle position. And when you have them in that position with all other turntables, your connections are all there besides the mixer, which sometimes is a little bit tricky. With the VL12s, all the connections are in the back when you have them in that position. So for battle position and moving around, those VL12s are a great option. But yeah, I mean, most of those turntables work really well. So I don't know. I can't give you one. Yeah. Vest says RP 7000 Mark II. And Vinyl Touch says heard the same. Vest, I'll see you on Sunday sessions. Tune in on Sunday. World Supreme wants to know, are all your music files MP3 or does it matter if they're MP4 or even like WAV files? Yeah, in my case, most of the music I have when I'm playing is in MP3 format. Some tracks I only have as WAV files. I understand with WAV you could have a higher quality, which can be noticeable if you're playing on a great system. Overall, the crowd will not notice that. And when I'm using MP3s, I'll go like 320 is preferred, but I'll go as low as 192. Works great for me, takes up a lot less space, especially with my current DJ computer, a MacBook Air with only 128 of storage on it. I don't have a ton of space, so WAV files would take up a lot more space. But I know DJs who will only use like WAV. They want that higher quality, which, again, in most situations, you will not clearly hear or not hear at all. Lewis, what up, man? Is the Pioneer DJ PLX 500 all right? It's okay. it's okay depending on what you want to do with it. If you just want to play some music, maybe do a bit of mixing, you can do that with a PLX 500. I used it once. I wasn't very impressed. For turntablism stuff, I don't think it's that great. It didn't feel like it had enough power, enough torque. But for a little bit of normal DJing, they could be okay. But I think you can get better turntables at that price, but I don't know their current price. Maybe they dropped in price. So I would have to double, triple check that. Okay. All right. Vinyl Touch. Context. Let's see. It's controversial. Vect said that the Technics are proven for longevity, but are underpowered for some of his modern techniques. So I don't know how the newer Technics turntables are, if they may have like more power, more torque. But I noticed back in the days when I started to use different turntables that there were more turntables out there that clearly had more torque than the Technics turntables. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I can get used to playing on all of them, but there is a bit of a difference there. Now, Technics are proven for their longevity, true, but, and I think some of the turntables will need to still prove their longevity, but one thing with the Technics turntables, especially just the older models, they have a disadvantage in my eyes because of their connections. Everything from the RCA to the power cable, ground wire, it's all connected to the turntable internally. With all of those newer turntables, those are just detachable cables. So if you have anything wrong with your cable, you can just plug in a different cable. That to me is a plus, because even though the Technics are strong turntables, I've had to revise my Technics a bunch of times because I would have like issues with wiring, with something would have happened because I used them and traveled with them. And then you would have an internal issue with one of the wires. And then you have to just bring your whole turntable away because they have to fix that. You can't just detach the cable and plug in a different cable. That's the only thing I don't like about Technics. I don't know if the newer ones have that or don't have that. But I know like basically all of the newer turntables will give me those detachable cables, which is a plus in my eye. All right, that's it. I'm going to tune out right now. While I'm here, just a quick happy birthday shout out to the wifey. And yes, I'm doing a stream on her birthday, but we're not really celebrating the birthday today. Doing that on a different day. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even been here. Do you think the Techniques will eventually change that with the cables? Like I said, I don't know. Maybe those new versions that came out have that. I don't know. Quickly see if I can see that maybe, because no one in the chat seems to know. What was the new one? What's the Mark 7, right? Jerry, what up? Oh, gelijk een family ding. Eerst Louis en dan Jerry. Okay, let me check real quick. Check. Mark 7s. Can I see that here somewhere? Show me. Doesn't show it there. Really? All photos, but no photos of the back? That is dumb. Okay, thank you. Wicked Walt. Appreciate that, because the photos here don't show it. So, okay, the Technics, the SL1200 Mark 7s have detachable RCAs. That's a start. That is a start. The power cable, is that also detachable? Or just the RCAs? I mean, it's a start, but it would be great if the power cable is also detachable. That will make it even better, but it is definitely an improvement. And they have dip switches for torque. Nice. Yeah, Jerry. Lang. But again, I'm cutting this stream off right now, and I will talk to you later. So I'm going to be back next Wednesday for Share the Knowledge, but make sure you tune in on Sunday for the Sunday sessions. That's the mix show, weekly mix show. Tune in either on Mixcloud or on Twitch or on Kick or on Twitter. So that's not on my YouTube channel. Cannot do it. I experimented again a couple of times with the old YouTube channel, and they got on me. I couldn't stream for like a week. And yeah, I'm not messing that. Not even with my old channel. Not doing it. So tune in, Mixcloud, Twitch, Twitter, or Kick. Right? Follow me on Instagram, DJ TLM. You can find all sorts of announcements there. En Jerry, omdat jij het bent dan, nog snel. PLX 1000 or Technics SL 1200 Mark 7. I'm not sure what the price is on that Mark 7, but I believe it was an incredibly scary price, like around $1,000. So just off price, I would say PLX 1000. I really like that turntable. So that price difference is not worth it to me. Maybe they're cheaper now, but if I'm seeing it here now, Technics SL 1200 Mark 7, I'm seeing $989. I'm seeing $1,015, $989, $9 something. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of freaking money, yo. I can see myself doing that. Now I have to admit, if I'm seeing the PLX 1000 at $699 and $695, that's a lot of money too. But again, a set of PLX 1000s you can get for like $1,400, maybe even cheaper somewhere else. It's a better price. But I wouldn't spend that money. And I think you're better off getting something like a Reloop RP 7000 Mark II, or maybe even the 8000 Mark II. The Reloop RP 7000 Mark II, just to check the price real quick, $540, $550. So you can get two Reloop RP 7000 Mark IIs for about the same price as one SL 1200 Mark 7. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, that price. That's crazy. Fabienne from Belgium. What up, neighbor? And of course, Dekker says Marktplaats. Jerry, Marktplaats, misschien ook een optie. All right, people, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Join me here on Sunday for the Sunday sessions. And otherwise, maybe I'll see you next Wednesday. All right? Peace out, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.